I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. So during the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubt. And I have my doubt that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubt. But they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. So roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. And I have my doubts. So I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubt that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night.
Good evening, Watchmen and Watchwomen of both Patreon and YouTube. So, no studio camera tonight. By the time I realized it, it was a little too late to try to get it, set up. So it wasn't set up behind me. Anyway, no big deal. Tomorrow everything will be back to normal. Hopefully, man, I'm telling you. My busy schedule hadn't even started yet, and I don't know, it just seems like production's not possible, and this weather is just really kicking the hell out of me. Absolutely gorgeous couple of days, and that fresh air. I've of course opened up the windows and that fresh air just, man, it does you in. So anyway, what I figured I would do is tonight, and I just opened it up to YouTube as well, is I'm going to cover the headlines for the last 4 nights and, just more or less do that as a show. That's why I just went ahead and went on public live on YouTube as well, because if that's all I'm doing, why mess with basically re-uploading another copy of it to YouTube, just to post public on YouTube, because that's how I do that. For YouTube, for the headlines videos, I actually record a copy on the hard drive. I record a copy of the show as it's going out live to YouTube at the same time. And I take that recorded copy that I have, and that's the copy that I edit, that I cut down for just the headlines video, and then re-upload it to YouTube for those of you that are not on Patreon. So anyway, this avoids me having to do all that. I can just leave it set to public. But anyway, oh, I am telling you, I'm just tired, and my sinuses and our weather's really changing over hard and settling in, and my body's just trying to get used to it. So it's been this back and forth nightmare forever, it seems. Now it seems like it's going to level out. My body just has to, I guess, level out with it. So I don't know, just been feeling kind of rough. Jen's been feeling kind of rough. And I think that's what a lot of it has to do with, is just the really unsettled weather, and not necessarily in a storm manner, just in the overall stability of it. So the barometer's been just all over the place, and that has a lot to do with it, a lot. So anyway, let me have a sip of coffee, a couple of vapes, because there's quite a few headlines, so we're going to kind of just mosey through them, take our time and mosey through them. Oh, man. All right. Starting with Friday. One moment. All right. Parents sue Los Angeles Teachers Union and School District for holding children hostage to political agenda with ongoing closures. Scores injured, many feared dead after train derails inside tunnel in Taiwan. Again, this was last Friday. Dutch Parliament rebukes PM Mark Rutte after he scrapes by in no confidence vote. Diplomatic breakthrough, U.S. lifts sanctions on Italian restaurateur mistakenly targeted by Trump-era Venezuela restrictions. Europe looks to stock up on natural gas this summer. Survey discovers 7 in 10 doctors now trust domestic Sputnik 5 vaccine, but most don't have faith in Western alternatives. Xiaomi mocked online after spending 3 years on new logo that looks almost identical to the original. A man armed with bottle of accelerant scaled gates of French president's residence, says the media. Again, this is Friday. China seeks to vaccinate entire city against COVID-19 in just 5 days after the outbreak. Oil rallies after OPEC Plus decision to gradually increase production. U.S. government should investigate OnlyFans for promoting prostitution, a GOP congressman says. Russia's Sputnik 5 formula could be updated to protect against new coronavirus variants in just 2 days using new gene technology. Sunlight renders coronavirus inactive 8 times faster than predicted, says a new study. Imagine that. North Korean group demands apology and compensation from Japan over World War II era atrocities. Global stocks shoot past all-time high of $106 trillion as imminent end of COVID-19 pandemic heats up market sentiment. Again, this is Friday's headlines. Taiwan train derailment. Death toll climbs to 48 as rescuers evacuate all trapped passengers and over 100 reported injured. Bitcoin price surge may be driving up interest in digital yuan, Bank of China says. Relations with U.S. at rock bottom after Biden's killer jibe, Moscow says, but American diplomats insist it's all Russia's fault. Primary teacher awarded £155,000 over vicious attack by misbehaving pupil. Still on Friday, by the way. Alabama blocks efforts to unban Hinduism spreading yoga in public schools, provoking eye rolls on social media. Let's see. French economy minister lashes out at Germany for delaying approval of EU coronavirus relief plan. 71-year-old German minister rejects Vaxzevria jab, says won't be patronized by younger health minister. Now, don't forget that AstraZeneca, I believe it was, changed its name to Vaxzevria, if I'm not mistaken. So don't sue me if I'm wrong. If I'm not mistaken, AstraZeneca just changed their name to Vaxzevria, or Viria, I don't know how to pronounce. And, yeah. Ridiculous. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. Hang on. Sip of coffee. Yeah, they shouldn't be allowed to just change names like that. NASA and ESA released spectacular updated Hubble image of Vale Nebula. By selling cheap electricity to Kiev, Russia is waging hybrid war on Ukraine's energy system and forcing plants to shut, says the MP. Bojo ripped for saying fully vaccinated people still can't meet indoors because jabs don't give 100% protection. This is the thing that just, I don't get it. I don't get it. There are no guarantees. I mean, I know there's no guarantees with anything in life. I get that. Okay, but there are no guarantees with this vaccine. It doesn't guarantee you can't spread it. It doesn't guarantee you can't get it. The only thing that they say that they're pretty sure of is that if you do get it, if you do catch it, that it won't be as bad. That it won't be as bad. But it won't stop you from potentially getting it. It won't stop you from potentially spreading it. You still technically need to wear a mask, social distance, the same things as if you didn't get it. It's crazy. Let's see. Boom Bust digs into privacy issues of blockchain-protected digital vaccine passports. Not feeling the heat, Russian surgeons carry on with life-saving open heart operation despite fire forcing evacuation of building. Pardon me. Talk about working under pressure a little bit. Two planes collide at Siberian airport after one moves on its own during maintenance. Local prosecutors blame dodgy brakes. Still on Friday, by the way. Russia to invest nearly $100 million to develop a vessel for Arctic survey. BBC Turkey reports plans for a second Suez Canal after falling for April Fool's joke in UK media. Iran rejects prospect of meeting U.S. at upcoming nuclear deal talks in Vienna. Study reveals trick coronavirus uses to evade immune system, which may help upgrade vaccines against new variants. COVID-19 vaccination should be framed as racial inequality issue to convince minorities to take the jab, a doctor tells Hancock. Kremlin says situation in Donbass frightening as Ukraine calls on NATO and Washington for support in event of conflict with Russia. Hunter Biden says incriminating laptop absolutely could have been his and suggests Russian intelligence possibly behind the leak. EU response to COVID-19 pandemic has cost 6 million jobs, young workers worst affected. U.S. and Iran say they'll begin indirect talks on nuclear program. Fully vaccinated can travel again, says new CDC guidance. Maria Butina, once jailed in the U.S., visits Navalny's prison and calls it exemplary, but allies of Russian opposition figure cry foul. Candlelight vigils and flower strikes, anti-coup protests continue in Myanmar as military moves to cut the internet. CDC says vaccinated Americans can travel again, but should still mask up. New World Order, creepy video of celebs promoting health seal worth thousands of dollars raises eyebrows. Yeah, it is an interesting video. Still on Friday's news. Moscow warns of measures against any Western troop development or deployment. Wow, I can't read for nothing. Moscow warns of measures against any Western troop deployment in Ukraine as Kiev cites guarantees of U.S. support in a conflict. Netherlands suspends use of Vaxzevria COVID jab among under 60s as a precaution after a woman's death. Iraqi baby born with 3 penises, wow, in first-of-a-kind case, doctors say. I'm just reading the headlines. Had nothing to do with it. Moscow court finds Twitter 3 times in a single day as Russia's showdown with social media giant over illegal content continues. I mean 3, right? Not just 1, not 2, 3, right? Not trying to be greedy or nothing, but 3. Europe's drought-induced crop losses tripled in 50 years, threatening future global food supply chain. A kneeling on person's neck considered deadly force. Longest-serving Minneapolis PD officer testifies in Chauvin trial. Ready, steady, stay. Confusion as CDC director tells Americans not to travel after her agency clears vaccinated for traveling. Hell, they don't know anything. They can't keep it straight. Hang on, clearing about 5,000 messages off my watch real quick. Yikes. Wasn't kidding, there was 1,000 of them there. Alright. External threat alerts and sirens reports of 1 person down outside U.S. Capitol building in D.C. Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, I can do that. Sorry, I just looked over, Trace, and saw that in chat. Fears over second-class citizens' freedoms and rights as UK government plans COVID passport trials at sports events within weeks. Videos show chaotic scenes outside U.S. Capitol after suspected vehicle attack on police officers. Car rams Capitol barricade, injuring 2 officers. Driver shot. Okay, time for coffee. Oh, man. I'm not in a hurry. I'm telling you, these last couple of days, I don't know what the actual final verdict was, but both days were supposed to be 80 degrees. And I would say it was probably right around that. And I don't know. To me, it was really comfortable. And just the fresh air and just, oh my goodness. Enough to wipe you out. I would imagine mushroom season's probably right coming around the corner if it hadn't already. Alrighty. Sorry. Had to take care of my caffeine and nicotine addictions there. Alright, suspect and 1 Capitol police officer dead after checkpoint ramming incident. German expert panel says under 60s who got first AstraZeneca shot should receive different vaccine for second jab. Gates says he has no plans to retire as team shrinks amid Justice Department inquiry into money for sex accusations. Liberal Twitterati again blame Capitol attack on white male suspect who appears to be black on video. Police targeted with bricks and fireworks during clashes with loyalist youths in Belfast. Illegal U.S. border crossings surged to highest level in 2 decades. Suspect identified as 25-year-old Indiana man after 1 Capitol officer and and I can't remember what the rest of the headline says. Hang on. Okay, 1 Capitol officer killed, 1 injured after 25-year-old man from Indiana rammed car into them. Let's see. Media identify Capitol ramming suspect as black male, follower of Radical Nation of Islam, and his Facebook page promptly gets wiped. Nah. Still on Friday, by the way. Vaccines are best way out of this pandemic, including effective and safe Sputnik 5 jab, the WHO Europe Executive Director says to RT. Vermont opens up the COVID-19 vaccine eligibility to anyone 16 and over as long as they identify as any color other than white. Florida Governor DeSantis bans vaccine passports with executive order to prevent having 2 classes of citizens. Georgia governor says Major League Baseball caved to liberal lies by moving All-Star game over voter ID law denounced by Democrats as racist. U.S. ends Trump-era sanctions and visa restrictions on International Criminal Court personnel imposed for Afghanistan war crimes probe. Nearly half of Americans think vaccine passports are a good idea, a poll claims, as Biden administration coordinates big tech pass apps. Yeah, I mean, this is going forward, period. Whether people like it or not, it is going forward and it will be pushed. I guarantee it. Analysis. Oh, we are on Saturday now, so yay. Analysis: Biden White House tries to craft gun executive orders that can't be undone. And that is actually something that I've been concerned about. So, because that is one thing that is the case with these presidents these days, versus the prior presidents. And I know they've all used a lot of executive orders and stuff like that, but here in these recent administrations, it's been a bit insane. So I've been waiting for this one. All right. CNN analysis fears Americans may enjoy freedoms without getting COVID jabs unless Biden ties reopenings to vaccination. Imagine if he had an AR-15. Liberals demand gun control after car and knife Capitol attack as white supremacist narrative crumbles. Mysterious giant craters in Siberia, sinkholes or underground explosions. RT Special Report explores the phenomenon. Highest form of money, Russia set to have first digital ruble prototype this year. Belgian police deploy cavalry and water cannon to disperse anti-lockdown party at Brussels Park. In Kazakhstan, 25 convicted pedophiles have been chemically castrated by court order just this year, officials reveal. Spotify's plans to guest listeners' gender will hurt trans people and reinforce stereotypes, says a rights group. Argentine president tests positive for COVID-19 after Russia's Sputnik 5 shot, but researchers say he will recover swiftly. Austria can return to normal in summer. Sputnik 5 can speed up vaccination program if Vienna buys it, says Chancellor Kurz. Let's see. Sorry, not sorry. Amazon apologizes to congressmen it dumped on for tweeting about Amazon workers pissing in bottles. Russian economy reviving faster than expected as Moscow opts against another COVID lockdown, says Bloomberg. Still on Saturday's news. Energy billionaire became $51 billion richer with 2021 oil rally. Justin Trudeau accused of anti-Christian bias after failing to refer to Easter in a holiday message. Commies with guns, Second Amendment is racially motivated, says ultra-left-wing pro-gun group. Over 100 whales to be killed in Japan as country starts controversial commercial whaling season. Robots threaten to replace hundreds of thousands of oil and gas jobs by 2030, says a report. Okay. Interesting. All right. Russia may offer effective alternative to Suez Canal and its not Northern Sea route, says a tycoon. All right. still on Saturday, Kill the Bill. Londoners march against proposed law that would give police more powers to crack down on public protests. Christians condemn London police for shutting down an unlawful Good Friday church service, citing COVID and threatening arrest. Congratulations for taking a stand. Obama backs Major League Baseball's decision to withdraw All-Star game from Georgia amid voting rights row. Biden may not be able to ease U.S.-Russia tension, and he's not best friend of competitor Europe, veteran German diplomat warns. Yeah, I'm telling you, this situation globally does not look real good. It really does not look good. I mean, and it's not all about the United States. I mean, there's a lot of countries, a lot of major countries that just aren't really seeing eye to eye right now. One moment. Yeah, it's been a little crazy here as of lately. I have a couple vapes. Oh. CBS News deletes tweet promoting 3 ways companies can fight Georgia voting law after it was accused of Democratic activism. Police say dozens arrested, 10 officers injured as policing operation, aka Kill the Bill protests. Florida expands evacuation zone amid state of emergency in Manatee County over fears of imminent breach of wastewater reservoir. Again, this is Saturday's news. Massive database of 533 million Facebook users with phones leaked off online, but tech giant says it's just old data. Just old data. Jordanian King Abdullah's half-brother placed under house arrest as security forces thwart coup attempt. Egypt parades 22 mummies through Cairo showing off... Oh, by the way, we're to Sunday, so sorry about that. We are now at yesterday's news. Egypt parades 22 mummies through Cairo showing off ancient heritage and putting Pharaoh's curse myth to rest. China molds new bourse to lure overseas enlisted firms, says media. Whatever the hell all that means. Armed activists joined march in protest against death of Michigan man in police custody last year. I am tired, too. We're so stupid following our politicians. NBA legend Charles Barkley says Democrats and GOP allied in dividing and conquering America. Alaska won't let Biden stop its oil boom. Best kind of fishing, people pick herring with bare hands as thousands throw ashore in Sakhalin, Russia. I'm sure I said that name way wrong. 22 police officers killed, 30 plus wounded by guerrilla fighters during anti-Maoist raid in India. German health minister promises to scrap tests and quarantine for fully vaccinated citizens, but doesn't say when it will happen. Biden administration stops AstraZeneca production in Baltimore. Johnson & Johnson put in charge after error spoils 15 million doses, says reports. Kind of a big screw up. Just a bit. Gestapo out. Watch Canadian cops chased out by enraged pastor after reportedly trying to stop Passover prayer. Over 20 detained as police use rubber bullets and tear gas to quell riot in Switzerland. Russian gas exports to Europe surged 30% in 2021 as harsh winter forces foreign consumers to boost energy purchases. India's soaring demand for gold could boost price of precious metal. Pope calls for an end to war, violence, and race for new weaponry in Easter message. 5 women arrested in France on suspicion of plotting terrorist attack on religious site during Easter holidays. Let's see. We're going to die, but not on stage. Naked artists protest COVID restrictions in Paris. Jordanian foreign minister confirms accusations against ex-crown prince Hamza and alleges foreign government involvement. Mark Zuckerberg's phone number included in huge Facebook user leak. American ex-governor says he now identifies as Chinese so he can get free stuff, leading to accusations of fueling hate. I would be vaccinated with Sputnik 5. German pharma CEO praises Russia's vaccine and outstanding scientists. Happy Easter to all, including radical left crazies who rigged election. Trump and Biden share their Easter messages. Hunter Biden 100% certain he will be cleared of any wrongdoing in tax investigation. A 4th wave and new pandemic. Biden health advisor clarifies why even vaccinated people should avoid non-essential travel. UK mulls emergency education plan as 200,000 plus primary school students lack basic reading skills after COVID-19 lockdowns. A woman's body found inside charity bin near Queensland Mall, an alleged misadventure. Okay, now we are to me having another sip of coffee and a couple more vapes, and the news that I started sharing out from this morning. Yum, 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 yum. Coffee goes down so good. Alrighty, let's see. Just following orders, Calgary police marked for weak damage control as pastor's fiery standoff with Gestapo cops goes viral. Riot in St. Louis jail. Inmates start fire, break windows, and throw out furniture. End of an era. LG becomes first major brand to wind down its global smartphone business. Get ready for a mega rally. World's largest lithium producer says. Everyone in England will have access to free rapid COVID-19 tests twice a week, PM Johnson says, as economy reopening begins. Turkey arrests 10 retired admirals who voiced security fears over Erdogan Straits project. Makers of Sputnik 5 vaccine warn EU delaying approval over fear of competition as Russia sees dramatic rise in domestic demand. Reports of Russian troops massing near Ukraine miss the mark. Russia-Ukraine war is possible, but only if Ukraine strikes first. Jordanian prince accused of sedition and says he won't be silenced in a new leaked recording. HIV-positive blogger has nose broken in broad daylight street attack after interview about challenges of life with virus in Russia. 50 UK aristocrats, some owning castles, applied for taxpayer-funded scheme aimed at saving businesses amid lockdown, says the media. Necessary step. Japan starts trials on issuance of national digital currency. China's top shipbuilder gets its largest contract as demand for huge container ships surges back. U.S. labor agency says Amazon unfairly dismissed employees who repeatedly organized protests against the company, says the media. 48% of Russians support opposition figure Alexei Navalny's 2.5-year jail sentence. Just 29% say it was unfair, new poll reveals. A 4.0 earthquake felt near Los Angeles, followed by several aftershocks. Probe launched over French media reports on secret dinners for ministers that flouted COVID rules. 300 plus Florida inmates evacuated as state anticipates potentially catastrophic flood. U.S. foreign policy undermining reliability of dollar, Russia warns, as Moscow contemplates new rival to Western payment systems. Pro and anti-Netanyahu protesters square off in Jerusalem as court hears witnesses in PM's corruption case for the first time. Let's see. Funding priorities. If NASA ran Texas, its residents would not freeze. Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson tells RT in half joke. Let's see. U.S. TV personality slammed after urging boycott of Masters Golf, linking it to slavery in a voting row. 10 Chinese warplanes, including spy and anti-submarine aircraft, fly over Taiwanese airspace, says the Defense Ministry. Beyond absurd, Portland school delays mascot change over concerns evergreen tree could conjure images of lynching. Really? U.S. retaliation for taxing its tech giants may be as high as $900 million, says the media. Iran announces arrest of Israeli spy and others with links to several countries. Ukraine joining NATO would not only benefit Kiev, but would also serve to strengthen U.S.-led bloc, country's army chief insists. Let's see, one step closer, India could compete in construction, wow, I can't speak, of world's highest railway bridge by the end of the year. Despite rock-bottom relations back home on Earth, Russia and U.S. embrace space partnership for another decade of rocket sharing. Russian army movements on border with Ukraine not a precursor of war, Kremlin says, citing need to defend against NATO buildup. Half of Republicans believe Capitol riot was mostly peaceful, while 60% want Trump to run in 2024, says a poll. U.S. Supreme Court rules in favor of Google in largest ever programming copyright case. Italian man comes to Moscow for Sputnik V vaccine as he is tired of waiting for his turn at home. Vladimir Putin signs law enabling him to serve 2 more terms as Russian president, could potentially stay in office until 2036. That's not surprising, considering everything that's going on. I'm not surprised at all. I didn't think he'd be going anywhere. Let's see. Ready to nuke Twitter, Justice Thomas blasts control of social media giants as SCOTUS dismisses lawsuit over Trump account. A disgusting excuse for a human being, outrage over alleged animal abuse as footballers accused of giving kitten brain damage. Intentionally false, 60 Minutes accused of deceptively editing DeSantis clip to push COVID-19 pay-to-play narrative. Flight attendant demands a family get off plane because their toddler isn't wearing a mask. Vaccination does not prevent the third wave. German health minister warns new lockdown might be necessary. Touch wood, risk of COVID-19 transmission via surfaces in is less than 1 in 10,000, CDC says in new cleaning guidelines. Liberals celebrate with glee as Supreme Court refuses to hear Alex Jones' appeal in Sandy Hook case. And then there's a 3 up here. Pfizer halts delivery of COVID-19 vaccines to Banana Republic, Israel after bill goes unpaid amid political infighting, says media. Eye rolls and cheers as masked bunnies descended on White House to join Biden's Easter address and greet reporters. And neck restraint used on George Floyd absolutely violated department policy, Minneapolis police chief says in Chauvin trial. So there you go. That's it. That's your headlines. I am out of here for the night. Hopefully everything's back tomorrow. And I like when things are just normal. Anyway, I hope everybody has a good evening. God willing, we'll see you tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.